What's up guys, my name is Brody Fausett, and in this video I'm going to show you how I retired at the age of 25 years old. So diving into things, I get it. There's so many things online. There's so many people claiming that they can retire you early and there's a shortcut and do this and the quick fix, right, to become rich. All of these things, I totally get it. My goal here is to share my story with you, show you what I did, and ultimately you can decide if, hey, I want to apply these principles and do the same thing that Brody's done, or just take it for what it's worth and continue on with what you got going on. First things first, it's important to understand that retired or being financially free, all that means is you have enough passive income that replaces all of your expenses and everything you need to live on a daily basis. Ultimately, it puts you in a situation where you have a decision if you want to go to work that day or you don't want to go to work that day. Either way, you can survive and live day to day because of your passive income. And so the cool thing about that is it's an amazing feeling. And once you get there, no matter what level it is, it's just this empowering feeling, like to be able to go to work still if you want to, but now you're doing it because it's a choice and it's a decision that you make. And so what I want to do here is show you guys really a few different things that have worked for me in helping me be able to retire at the age of 25. I'm currently 29 years old, and so for the last 4 years of my life, I've been in a situation where I've not had a ton of stress because of the passive income that I've been able to build at a young age. Now, the cool thing is my lifestyle is way different now than it was at the age of 25. And so the cool thing is I've also continued to build my passive income, and now I enjoy a better lifestyle and I'm still financially free and quote unquote retired. So without further ado, the way that I did this was through investing in real estate. Now, obviously as a 23, 24, 25-year-old kid, I didn't have a ton of money. And so what happened was I invested in quality deals over quantity. I figured out ways to use a very little amount of my own money to build passive income. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to commit to this and know what my expenses are and slowly start to replace those expenses, meaning the money that's coming out of my bank account each month, with money that comes in and doesn't require me to work. So this is the first house that I bought. Again, we think of like buying a house, it's going to cost all this money. The cool thing is if you're going to go owner occupy a home, you only need about 3.5% down on average. It's not that much money. Even if you don't have $4,000 or $5,000 laying around, the cool thing is we'd all probably agree is you can go work really hard and within a year you can have that saved up pretty easily. And so that's exactly what I did. I got into this house. You can see this is me and my buddies. I rented all the rooms out to them. I still have this house to this day. And what happened was this house cost me about $1,100 every single month. And what I rented out for today is $2,700. So you can do the math there. Obviously it cash flows every single month, a decent amount. And so what I did, this was the second house that I bought. Same exact thing. I moved out of that one. What was cool about that is I could now rent my room out. And then I bought this house. At this time, I had just gotten married. And so we lived upstairs and we rented out the basement that had a secondary kitchen and it was a duplex. And so same exact strategy there, put the least amount of money that we could down because we were willing to owner occupy the property and rented it out. Eventually we moved out and now we rented out the top unit and cash flowed even more. Same thing, I still have this house to this day. The mortgage is about $800 on this one and it rents out for $2,400 a month. So you can do the math on that. Obviously it's cash flowing a decent amount per month. Obviously on an annual basis per year, it's starting to add up. And the third property that I bought that really allowed me to be financially free, retired before the age of 25, was this condo up in a ski town, and I got a really good deal on it. I bought it for $38,000. This property, I had an HOA on it, was about $300 a month. And what I decided to do with this was Airbnb it and rent it out as a nightly rental. I didn't have a ton of expertise in this niche. I didn't know how it was going to perform, but I did as much research as I could. Ultimately, I felt like it was going to be a good investment. And this property rents for an average of $4,000 a month. So the cool thing with that, obviously, you take out your expenses there and you're cash flowing a decent amount of money per month, which ultimately leads to a decent amount of money per year. Now we take this and combine that with the first two properties, and you can see these three properties, it wasn't hard for me to get to a spot where I have enough passive income coming in every single month, every single year that covers all of my expenses. And so obviously I'm super passionate about this, which is why I teach it now and show people how to do it and focus on quality over quantity. A lot of people have a lot of real estate. They've spent a ton of money to get into that real estate. My strategy was different. I didn't have a lot of money. And so I focused on what strategies within real estate investing required the least amount of my own money, and were also going to be really, really good properties that were going to cash flow a lot of money. And so one of the strategies that I've used is renting it by the room. Like, that's been huge for me. Airbnb obviously was another strategy that cash flowed a lot of money. And then buying some sort of a duplex where the upstairs I rent by the room, it's close to a college campus, and the downstairs I rent to a couple or even a family, just because there's one bedroom, family room, and a kitchen. So all these strategies worked really, really well for me in building passive income that replaced my active income and also replaced all of my expenses. And so the cool thing is, once I got to this point, I felt so much freedom. I felt empowered, really. And now every day to go and work or to go and build these side hustles, like I was in a spot where I could go and do that and focus on that without stressing so much about money. Now, where people make mistakes is they'll get a raise in their job, or maybe they'll start to build a little bit of passive income, and their living expenses also go up. And it's called the treadmill of life, right? We're constantly trying to keep up with this treadmill. We get a raise, our expenses go up. We get a raise, our quality of living goes up, right? We get into a nicer house, we get a nicer vehicle. And so if you can postpone that as long as possible and take that extra money that you'd be spending on these extra expenses, save that up, dump that into these investments or these cash flowing real estate investments or cash flowing properties, eventually that's all going to start to steamroll and add up, and you're going to have a lot of passive income that comes in every single month. If you're interested in how do I get into these real estate investments that don't cost me a lot of money, you can watch some of my other videos or also click on the link below and I can break all that down for you. So there you guys have it. At the age of 25 years old, how I retired and have just built upon that retirement. For the last 4 years, I'm still in my 20s and I live a really, really good life because of the smart decisions and the passive income I've been able to make. So remember these three things. Number one, know what your expenses are. Break it down and find your what I call a freedom number, which is the number that you need to make of passive income each month that will replace all of your expenses. Know that, understand that, and then slowly start to chip away at that. Number two is quality over quantity. Now, what's cool is when you start to learn about real estate investing, these different strategies, you can really focus on, I want to get a quality property. A lot of people invest in real estate and those properties will only cash flow $100 or $150 a month. As you can see here, my strategy is a little bit different. I wanted these properties that are going to bring me in $1,000+ a month. Like, that was my goal. That's what I wanted. And so if you can have that goal and you can look at it with that lens, you will find properties like that. But they're not easy to find, right? You have to look at things a little bit differently. And once again, teach you how to do that and get creative with how you go find these deals. But that's my second piece of advice, is just focus on the quality of the investment versus just the quantity. And then the third thing, and this is really important, especially if you're trying to retire at a young age, is you want to focus on strategies that are going to require a very little amount of your own money, if any at all. A lot of the things that I focus on today and teach today are things such as owner financing, house hacking, partnering on certain deals, the BRRRR strategy, right? All these strategies that don't require hardly any of your own money, and then also put you in a situation to where you are collecting passive monthly cash flow that comes in whether you decide to work or not. And so that's the ultimate goal. Remember these three things, start to apply them in your life, no matter how old you are, no matter what age you're at, and you'll slowly start to chip away at your freedom number and eventually be on your way to retiring early.